Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to demo how to log in to the SAP Web GUI system and the basic navigations. The SAP account I requested for our class is offered and managed by SAP University Alliances and hosted by two universities in the United States. One is with University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and the other one is California State Chico campus. The one we have here is under the management of Chico. To help instructors manage class and student progress, each class has our own unique system and client number. So our system is OXF is already default, but the client, every time you log in new, you need to change to our class client number 358 before you put your username and password. Sometimes the students forgot changing the client number, then you never can log into the system. After you change the client, now you can put the username and password I send you to the message and your email. And our class format is lowercase AIS with a dash. So I'm using a 15 as my student account. I also have a faculty account, which enables me more functionalities to manage the class. So the username is not case sensitive. Upper or lowercase is fine, but the password is always case sensitive. So use the one I send out to you. I already saved mine. So 6 digit. I believe if you try, you have 3 attempts to log in. After that, it will be locked. So if you really see a log, like a log message for your login, let me know. I can reopen and reopen and give you a new password. So after you put, make sure client number, username, and password, and then log on. Okay. Okay, yeah, sometimes maybe, yeah, got it. So after you log in, this is the home screen. And this is a simulation case designed and offered by the SAP University Alliances. This is not a real company, but it is really, really a simulation for a manufacturer company covering all of the business functions under the SAP ERP system. So this is the global bike company as I introduced in the prior videos of the business integrations. And this is the web GUI, the SAP HANA S4. We also have app-based, means you download a app of SAP Suite in your laptop or desktop. You can go from there, log in, and you got a very similar system as I'm showing here. And the newest trend is they have the cloud SAP. So cloud SAP, you don't really have these menus. Is really like the function. It's more like the phone, the app, like tiles. Okay, so you see all of the tiles use the SAP Cloud version with all of the Fiori Launchpad. So it's like operating a iPad or any other like those devices. But for the university lenses, we still majorly use the manual-based. So you can see SAP manual. And I believe many companies, the real world companies, are also still using this manual system. Even you use the Fiori Launchpad, the functionalities are completely the same. Just the way you access or the way you operate is different. Okay, because it's kind of offered for users if you are not familiar or comfortable with those tiles, right? So click, but the weakness or something I don't like the Fiori parts is unless you are very familiar with the SAP functionalities, like for my job positions, you need to spend some time to get familiar with the different functionalities and know where you can find the operations you want to execute. But if you use the SAP menu, as I'm going to demo very quickly, you can really use the drop-down menu and try to find, okay, with all of these prompts, so you can relatively easy to find the functions you haven't learned or you are not very familiar. So pros and cons. Some people prefer this kind of older SAP menu as my case, and some people prefer the Fiori Launchpad. But anyway, let me take that back. So you can see the SAP menu, most of the functionalities of business from different areas. You always can find the functions you work especially. For example, if you work in the accounting area, you have a individual accounting module you can pursue from there. And human resources, remember the business integration chart I showed you, how different functionalities interact with accounting and interacted together to perform business operations. So human resource, you have a special function here. You can drill down. You have payroll, time management, right? So training. So you can go from there for different specializations under the human resource system. And then for accounting, the financial accounting. That's the main external reporting functions, enter journal entries, check your trial balances, generate financial statements. So those you can see is listed under. If you work on accounts receivable, accounts payable, I think I remember one of our class peer, I forgot the name, but she especially work on payable or receivable, but they give separate specialized functions. So AR and AP, they are uh, integrated. They are part of your financial accounting system, your general ledger system, but they have more details because you need to manage the receivable or payable account for different customers. We have subledgers. So most of the subledger management you can find on these two special functions. And then if you work on bank related transactions, receiving payments, post payments, master data, bank management, and then fixed assets. Fixed assets, especially referring to the capital assets, and like the buildings, equipments, machineries, right? Like take depreciations. When you acquire new assets, dispose used assets, tracking the depreciations. So fixed assets and their related accounting issues you cover under the fixed assets, and some specific purpose ledgers and country specific functions is incorporate the different accounting principles and requirements for different regions. But the main like a ledger journal entry trial balances is posted under the general ledger document entry. You can enter GL account document. That's where if you click on that, the company code. Company code separates the operational system from each of our students. When you use your SAP account, you are actually like a manager for your mini system. Okay, like I'm the client manager. I'm managing for our class. Then each of you have a company code. So I'm the parent company. Then we have 13 or 14 children company, and then you are the manager of your own children company. That's separated by company code. So the company code is consistent with your user number. So if you have AIS like my 15, then my company code will be US 15. So, those make sure you are inputting data, generated data for the correct entity system. So this is the way we enter journal entry under the SAP. Oh, it's not a manual. I need to put the date, like a debit account, a credit account. You can see the debit, uh, credit, okay, and then the dollar amounts for the transactions. The SAP also can help you check so simulate, okay, did I put the correct account or especially the number parts? And do I like the total debits and the total credits are they equal to each other? If they are not equal, the SAP wouldn't let you process further. Okay, you need to make corrections. Also, sometimes we'll try to put a expense. That's remember when we talk about in chapter 3, chapter 2, we have the cost object, right? So when you incur expense under SAP for most of the expenses, like payroll expenses, depreciation expense, insurances, the SAP require when you input the journal entries, you identify the cost object related to the expense. That means which department or which cost center will take responsibility for this expense. So we need to put a information under the cost center. Okay, they already start to track your expense based upon the relevance of the cost, okay, under the different personnel operational departments or functions. So cost center. So I'm just showing you briefly. So inputting document like adding new transactions, expenses, revenues, that's a very critical part of the whole financial accounting system. So I'm going to exit. And back in here, so that's like I'm just showing you on the SAP menu functions. So you can use the arrows to drill down and until you find the function, the operation you want to execute. And when you see this cube, or when you see this cube rather than the arrows, means you are under the lowest level. Okay, that this is a executable functionality. Okay, and you can tell by the name. Also, in SAP, they assign a transaction code for most of the functionalities you are seeing here. And once you know you're like familiar with this transaction code, rather than going through the manual path, I can input the transaction code in a box in the top. I'm going to show you how you get it. So that's a shortcut. It's like a mail program, right? So I just type a code, a 4-letter or 5-letter or even sometimes number code. When I type the code and is bring the functionality directly rather than going through all of the manual paths. So now let me show you how to enable the transaction code and the transaction box. So let me take this back to keep it clean. And first show the transaction code. Okay, click on the more and actors setting. The last one, check the display technical names. The technical name is a transaction code. Okay, and check yes. And now if you see, I'm going to the same menu, document entry. You can see now before the name of each operation, they add a transaction code. So this is a shortcut, a code you can call the transaction directly. Now, where I can put this code is not in the default. I don't know why the default. I always, let students to enable these two functions before they perform all of the modules later. And to show the transaction box, we also go for more. But this one go to the GUI. So GUI means graphic user interface. And setting. And the first one. So check, so show OK code. OK means the transaction code. I normally also check the show a confirmation dialog, sometimes to prevent myself closing the browser before I actually want it. Okay, sometimes you can just check this too and save. And now you can see this box. This is where you can put the transaction code. In the instruction, like the file with all of the modules, for each transaction, I have a parenthesis to show the transaction code. So that's give you two options. You can either use the manual path or you can use the transaction code. So after you see the module and instructions, you see what I mean. And for example, I'm doing like this on FB 550 enter journal entry, like the same one we show. I click on the transaction. Yeah. So if I don't want to go from here, I already know, okay, this is FB50. So I input the transaction code and hit enter. So you see, it's leading me to the transaction directly without going through all of the menus. So that's a very handy and very convenient. So now exit. And I even can make this like the functions I use very often as a favorite functions. This is like your favorite browser, right? So you can save. So to make it a favorite is also easy. So you can click on, like highlight the function. You can see here, or you can use a right click, add to favorites. Okay, either way, so I'm going to from here, and then this function become one of my favorites in the top. Okay, don't make it too many. Okay, but just choose the most often one to save your time to perform the functions. For a financial accounting, I believe FB 50, it should be one of your favorite. Okay. So that's like the navigation. So the two functions make the operation much easier to do later. So now I'm taking back the accounting function, and now you may ask, where is the sales? Where is the production? Where is the purchasing? The main operations are located under the logistics, like logistics, and under here the purchasing mostly handled by material management. Okay, so if you drill down, you see purchasing, valuations, MRP, material requirement planning, that's for production, like prepare all of your materials, the bill of materials, your route, like the labor, the procedures required and their time requirements. So if you click on MRP and material forecast, and then MRP planning, planned order, evaluation master data. Okay, that's for a detailed production planning. And purchasing, that's for your new purchase orders, or if you have purchase requisition before that, even quotations, because many companies, they require a sequence, right, for your supply chain management. So first we seek quotations from a list of the vendors. And then based upon the purchase requisition, then we issue purchase order for the suppliers we chose after evaluation of their pricing and some quality issues. And then you can see your inventory management, like good movement. When we receive the shipment, like receiving the fixed assets or materials from purchase, we need to use good movement. Also, when you sell, trying to make the deliveries, shipping to the customers also go through the good movement or for different purpose. Even you issue material for production, okay, that's all covered under the goods movement. For purchasing, I'm taking off, and then your sales distribution. Okay, sales distribution, you have your master data. Master data, you can have your customers, vendors, we all can define under the new business partner function. Product, master data, conditions, and then your sales orders, right? So inquiries, yeah, we can document, create inquiries from clients and also save it, and they might become a quotation and finally become a formal sales order. Scheduling agreement, that's like contract management. So for long-term customers under SAP, we have two types of management, one under contract and one under scheduling agreement. Under one contract, you can sell multiple times, right? Like, we have a 1 year contract, then we can do the shipment like 5 times per year. So to fulfill the contract. But each time you make a new sales order, like sales, you need to create a new sales order even under the same contract. But for scheduling agreement, no sales ordered for individual delivery. Okay, that's more detailed for the sales management. But anyway, that's like the sales and the distributions, and you can do the shipping, outbound deliveries. Okay, you can make arrangements for delivery on the here, pick up the products and do the shipment, loading point shipment. Okay, so every details in the actual business operations can be captured by the different functionality here. So it's pretty powerful. And then production, take off, production management. SOP, remember, that's sales and sales operational planning. Okay, sales and operational planning. If you have, you can create from here and then manage from here. Product group. Later, if you have interest, because the company, when they define the production, not really for individual, they may have a group of products planned together. Okay, that's all of your production planning, and then MRP management, shop floor control, material movement, right? And the product cost planning. And then even you can have quality management, logistic controlling, and many other more options. Okay. So I like SAP a lot because that's really let you know what's going on in the business, not really from one function's perspective. So when I offer, try to based upon our feedback from the first discussion, I apply the SAP majorly for us to have some understanding how accounting is integrated with other functions like the major sales, purchasing, production. So I will offer some optional modules. All of the modules, I have the instructional file from my prior SAP training and also add my own comments and notes. Especially, I will offer you my step-by-step YouTube videos to walk you through how to finish all of the modules because the paper, when you read the instructions, sometimes is very confusing. But anyway, for this navigation introduction, I will stop here. And then in the detailed videos, you will be able to see how to complete the related accounting and other functional modules.